I think we should be live right now. Good evening, everybody. If you're joining us live, thank you so much for being here. I can see people are piling into the chat already. Going to give people 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 at the tops, to get themselves logged into the chat box. If you're watching this live, you'll see a chat box underneath this video right now. Log into that with your Facebook credentials or Twitter, or log in as a guest if you want to be anonymous. But if you want to ask our special guest tonight some questions, you're going to need to log in. Our special guest, reveal yourself.
Hey, it's Hollywood Hogg.
It's the Hollywood Hogg. I love it, man. Absolutely love it. He's even put Hollywood in his little lower third there. Incredible. Jordan, how are you?
I'm top banana, buddy. Really good. Can't complain at all.
Where are you? Cardiff?
I'm in Cardiff. I'm in the beautiful South Wales.
And that's because you're doing what? Casualty?
Yeah, I've been working hard on Casualty, yeah. It's my second block on the bounce, so I've been down here for the best part of 6 months.
It's the best part of 6 months on Casualty. Well, that's amazing. So Jordan's connecting via Wi-Fi. His internet connection is holding up quite well. If his picture freezes at any point, we can still hear his audio. But, his audio is what we're after tonight, Jordan. Not that we don't want to see your lovely face.
Well, I've got a face for radio.
It's beautiful. So we are going to be live for around about the next hour or so. We're going to try and keep Jordan on as long as possible, answering all of your questions on anything to do with acting, auditioning, the audition process for Casualty, the audition process for Coronation Street. Jordan's a BAFTA-nominated director. This guy is going places. You want to work with him now whilst you can. I think before you know it, he will be the real Hollywood Hogg, working on mega stuff. What have you? You can't really tell us what you've got coming up because it's a bit embargoed at the moment, isn't it?
I've got there's a couple of things in the pipeline, but the way it's looking, we're going to be making a step up shortly.
Stepping up. Well, if you step up, Hollywood, I need a leg up.
Oh, don't worry, I'll give you a leg up, brother. Don't worry about that.
So that's all cool. If you know what I should say, actually, let us know if you can hear us okay. I think you can, because Nina's just said evening, guys. So do let us know if we are coming through loud and clear, if audio is clear. Like I say, video on these things might drop in and out a little bit, but we're using technology that's at the cutting edge. It's not perfect, but it should work effectively. I can see Tim is here. Hello to you. He says, hi, Ross and Jordan. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to it. Julia's here. Nina's here. John is here. Bill is here. Sam is here. Everybody's here. James is here. Julia, I'm here. That's good. I've just seen myself log in. Mary's here. Alex is here. Good evening, everybody. Ultimately, start getting your questions in whilst we're waiting for the first few to come through. Jordan, I mean, what's kind of been going down with you recently, and what are the lessons you've been learning recently as a director, do you think, that would help everybody this evening?
Well, I've been. I was referring to a recent Casualty I did that was on the week before last. Funny enough, I had a pretty famous lady called Sharon Glass, who was Cagney and Lacey.
Amazing.
And she was absolutely terrified coming to set. So that made me kind of realise that no matter how big you are in the world, you still get terrified by things, by stepping on, meeting new people and performing on a new show. Even the biggest get scared. So, it happens to us all.
It's amazing, isn't it? I did a podcast just last week with the incredible writer. She's called Debbie Horsfield. She wrote things like, back in the day, like Cutting It. She writes Poldark. She's literally the creator of Poldark for BBC. She just wrote a drama that I was very fortunate to be in, called Age Before Beauty, comes out in April. And the reason I did the podcast with her, Jordan, was because at the read-through, after episode 1, she came up to me, like we were having a coffee in between episodes, and she's like, oh, Ross, I feel I can breathe now. She said, I always feel at the start of a read-through, before episode 1 has been read, that this is the one where everyone's going to find out that I can't write and I'm rubbish, and not just this is rubbish, but all my previous work is rubbish. Is it something, I mean, how do you feel when you're going into a new job?
Well, weirdly, it's always been pointed out to my attention that I never ever get nervous. I never really get scared of much, to be honest. But when I'll just refer back to working with Sharon again, I was aware that one of the biggest icons of 80s television was coming onto my set, but I was expecting to have to deal with an ego, but there just wasn't any of that at all, which kind of didn't wrong foot me, but it wasn't what I was expecting in the slightest. Um, but I mean, I basically, the nature of my job is like any actor, I suppose. I jump from job to job all the time, so I'm frequently used to meeting new people and being in new environments. So I think you have to pretty quickly adapt to your surroundings and get used to the atmosphere in which you're working and attune to that really, and try and be on the top of your game all the time and be as well prepared as you can be. And know what you're facing really, and be prepared for the questions you're going to be asked. Are going to be asked of you, and whatnot. And even when I go for meetings for jobs, I try to do as much research on not just the job I'm going to work on, but also the production company as well, and what they've done before, and what they look out for. And I'll always speak to people that have worked with them before, or maybe on that project before, to try and get some inside info really, and just try and go in as well armed as possible really.
Yeah, I think for me it's preparation, and it's cliched as hell, but every casting director that I interview, every director I interview, they're all like, the one thing that lets actors down the most is lack of preparation. Do you think the fearless nature you have, because we spoke about this in the big interview I did with you, where it was like literally like you feel you are relatively fearless, do you think that just comes from knowing your stuff and actually being well prepared?
No.
Where does it come from then?
Well, to be honest, I think I've always thought this. I think it's to do with my disability. I think it's a psychological thing to do with flight or fight.
Just explain for those who don't know about that. Explain what it is that you live with and how you deal with it.
I have cerebral palsy, which limits my mobility and the control of my right arm and right leg. But I've never known any different. I've had it since birth, so I've let it get in my way. But going back to the psychological impact it has on me, I think it's I think it's a flight or fight thing. I can't physically run away, so I have to fight. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, so, completely. No, I mean, I get it with my eyesight, mate, in terms of I know I've got 15, 20 years of eyesight left, and that just suffocates all excuses for me. So it's like, actually, you know what? You're going to make stuff happen now. And I think maybe, you have a similar kind of thing, ever so slightly different. But yeah, if you physically can't run out of a situation, I guess your entire life, you just had to face what's right in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it kind of boils down to that. And I've always had like, take me or leave me kind of attitude. So if people don't like me, they don't like me, but I'll always try and be a nice, personable person. And if they don't like me, they have to look at me. I don't have to look at me. So
what is there not to like about Hollywood Hogg?
Exactly.
Precisely. Right, guys, get your questions in. Anything you want to know about auditioning, about acting, working with Jordan on set, anything about the process, like I say, of Casualty, Coronation Street, how it all works. We'll start the ball rolling, Jordan, just with stuff that I think people are going to want to know about. How does casting differ between the soaps like Corrie, the regular series, and stuff like Casualty? Is it different? Is it the same? What's your involvement with each? I guess, and what you're looking for, like initially before, even just to start bringing people in. Who decides even that?
Cool. Well, it's a discussion. If we decide who to bring in, it'll be an initial discussion that we'll have. Say Casualty. It'll be between me, the producer, and the casting director. I mean, when we got the script in for, I'm going to refer back to the episode again. It was episode 13, which we had Sharon in. The part was so good. We knew that we could push this as far as possible. Because obviously flying an artist in from LA that's a world famous 80s TV icon is very, very rare for any British TV show.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so we knew the part was that strong, and we were getting a little bit of resistance from the casting department, who I think were a bit frightened to approach bigger names. And I had to literally say, look, we're a flagship BBC One show, 9 o'clock Saturday night. Why can't we have the best people? What's stopping us getting the best out there? So we came up with a few suggestions of top-end British actors who were unavailable for one reason or another. So then our list was getting the caliber was getting higher and higher every time they said no.
Right.
We were pitching it even higher. So we stopped at Sharon Gless, but the next level after that was Whoopi Goldberg, was the next name on the list.
Oh, amazing. Nice.
So, yeah, so I think the casting process with Casualties, I think the caliber we can attract is of a very high standard. And I've just done an episode. I can't quite reveal who we've cast yet, but I've cast another famous name actor who everyone knows recently in the series, which if we go for an actor of that level, we don't audition them, we just offer them the role straight off. Which she was probably my first choice for the part, actually, which she accepted straight away because I've worked with her before.
There you go.
Which is good
because you are very loyal, mate. I've seen this like both in larger parts and the smallest of parts. Like you will see actors, you know, who you've just seen either in shows or you auditioned before and they weren't quite right for that role. I just want people to realize like that is a real thing, and that, you know, if they don't get one part, I know there's a guy on here tonight who's auditioned 19 times for Corrie, hasn't got a part yet, and was getting a little bit paranoid about the fact that what's he doing wrong? And Katie said in an email to him, listen, the reason we brought you in 19 times is because we bloody like you.
Yeah.
It just the thing hasn't come up for you yet. Will you just fight for people like that until you can get them something? Oh,
definitely. I mean, I think, I mean, it's not necessarily fight for people. I think I get quite a good say on who I get, and it's very rare that I get people saying, "Oh no, they're no good," after I've suggested them, but it just doesn't happen because I've the people I go for, I have a lot of faith in them and faith in their ability. And what I always do, I always keep whenever I audition somebody, I ask them if they're on Twitter, and I keep a record. I follow them on Twitter, so I like keep a record of my actors on Twitter, and if I've got a part, I'll go through Twitter and think, oh, they'd be quite good for it, and let's get them in for it. And have a chat. I keep
telling people, mate, honestly, because I know you know, I mean, we follow each other on Twitter, on Instagram. You're very active. I'm very active. You know, people will comment on each other's posts and stuff. It is like people need to realize, particularly Twitter, it's the only social network. I say it's really the only social network because it's the only social network you can basically enter a conversation with someone you haven't been invited to. All the other ones, you've got to friend them, or you've got to, you know, slide it in their DM on Instagram. Twitter's very much like a cocktail party. Everybody can get in touch.
I got a message the other day off a lad. It was an actor, and I get people contacting me on LinkedIn all the time, and I don't know who they are. Friending me as actors, which is fine, but this kid contacted me the other day, and he said, "Is it okay?" I really admired his balls and his tenacity, because he just sent me a message saying, "Can I send you my Spotlight link? Can I have your email?" So I wouldn't normally do this, but I thought, well, fair play to the lad. He's doing exactly what I'd have done. So I said, yeah, send me a DM, and looked at his Spotlight and stuff. So yeah, I think you've kind of got to make your own luck and make your own opportunities, and I like it when people do that.
Yeah.
Because I've been on at my agent every day this week about various stuff. So yeah, I've got to keep pushing.
Well, people don't realize that, you know, you have an agent. Directors have agents. Even casting directors have agents. They're always looking for the next job, so they get it. So when you get in touch with them, or use, you know, your tenacity, or, you know, think a little bit differently in order to get noticed, not in a crazy stalker way, that is still the wrong thing to do. But if you go about it the right way, then you can't not admire that, because you're probably doing the same things yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, when actors are going for an audition and worrying and stressing and stuff, I have to do exactly the same. I have to go and meet people for different jobs and stuff, and I'll probably be slightly invested in a job a little bit more, because I'll have read the full script, I'll have ideas, I'll have done a mood board and whatnot. So it's we have exactly the same thing.
No, I love it, man. I'm going to bring up some questions now, literally just at random. These can be anything. I'm going to answer them in the order that they come in, guys, because obviously this is for you. It's not for me to just keep asking questions. Cool. Let's get some things that actually you definitely want to know. So James, first of all, I think we just covered this. He says, do you think it's okay for actors to contact directors? Because a lot of actors won't have the balls, mate. They will only contact casting directors.